I always have to correct people. It's Alice Mong. M, not W. And thank you all for being here. I was really nervous because I had to follow that guy. And the reason is he's spoken many times at Asia Society, many times. In fact, just about a month ago, November 20th, when Chandra talked about the other 100, the opposite of the fourth 100. And I just, to be honest with you, I'm going to make some confessions. I started working on my speech last night at midnight. And I'm glad I did, because after seeing some of the technology, and I've decided I was not going to do PowerPoint. I'm just not a technology person. I do have two phones, I'm sorry. One for the US and one for Hong Kong. But other than that, you're going to hear what I have to say. And before, I was quite nervous, because following Chandra, I know what a great speaker he is, and I'm a poor speaker. I am so nervous right now, but you know what? I'm going to have fun. And the reason I'm going to have fun is I'm going to build on what Chandra said. He basically set the stage perfectly for me, because I was still coming in on the Airport Express on the train this morning, working on my speech. This is my speech, handwritten. And I thought, there's no way I'm going to top this guy. You know, there's just no way. And because I'm not going to top it, I'm going to build on what he says. And the reason being, what I want to talk about, the 1 + 1 = 3, is really to challenge you all, because I rarely have an opportunity like this on my birthday. Today is my birthday. And because I don't do this often, I really don't, and I'm getting nervous about it, so I'm just going to build on what a great message Chandra already built, and kind of really, the reason I said 1 + 1 = 3 was to really challenge you all, everybody in this room, the takeaway message for me, for you all, is when you're done with, go ahead and volunteer and do something. Improve your organization, and go volunteer for a nonprofit, because I work for a nonprofit. I chose to to stay in the nonprofit world, even though I did receive a really wonderful EMBA from Kellogg and HKUST. But I decided about 10 or 12 years ago, a year after 9/11, that it was time to go home. I was working in Hong Kong for 11 years, working for a big property developer, and I walked away from he still reminds me that I walked away from a lot of stock options. And the reason I did it was, this was a year after 9/11, as a Chinese American. You know how back then, I think China was going to be the strategic enemy, or whatever Bush was saying. And I had an opportunity to go back to work for a really fantastic nonprofit called Committee of 100, and it was founded by people like Ian Pei and Yo-Yo Ma. And at that time, I figure, you know, I could afford to take some time off, walk away from my stock options, and maybe when the time comes, come back to work in the for-profit world. But I did it because at that time, as a Chinese American, we had a really interesting opportunity as Committee of 100 to really shape the view in America about Chinese in America. And then the 10 years I was in New York, Committee of 100, 6.5 years, worked with some fabulous Chinese Americans, including technologists like Jerry Yang and Steve Chen and IM and others, to really start building bridges. And that was what I did for 6.5 years. Made no money. In fact, I had to explain to my parents why I was doing this. To this day, they do not understand why I'm a nonprofit. And the reason is really, we rarely have an opportunity. We are all connected, but we're not. Kind of very much like what Chandra says. So the 1 + 1 = 3 came from a speech Tan Dun gave. I don't know if you know Tan Dun. He won an Oscar, the first Chinese American to win an Oscar for Crouching Tiger, soundtrack for Crouching Tiger. And he said this, 1 + 1 = 3, is that his background as a Chinese, born in mainland China, having a US education, and his music is quite transformative. And that's what I thought, what I did at the Committee of 100 was about, 1 + 1 = 3. It was truly, these guys do not need to be involved. They were already at the height of their games. You can't get more famous than Yo-Yo Ma and Ian Pei and Jerry Yang. But they decided it was important. That organization was created in 1989. We know what happened in 1989. And these Chinese American individuals felt it was important. And so I was honored, very honored, to be its first professional executive director when I decided to go back to work in the States. And post 9/11, I think the 6.5 years we did was really a time that I will never, never regret. Lets me back to Hong Kong. So fast forward, 9 years, nonprofit, making no money. Wanted to come back to Hong Kong to make some money. My parents are saying, "You're EMBA, what's going on?" Fell in love with an organization. Some of you fall in love with guys. I'm sorry, I fall in love with organizations. Because the mission was important. I had an opportunity to really help transform this organization called Asia Society Hong Kong Center. Just, those of you, we just opened a new home, February of 2012. Can I see a show of hands? How many people have seen that beautiful site? Okay. My other objective, by the time I'm done, I'm going to get you so excited about where I work. Every one of you is going to come and visit. Because we currently have a wonderful exhibition really showcasing South and Southeast Asian artists working in Guggenheim. Rarely do we see artwork from this region. And you guys, it's powerful. It's really powerful. So I would encourage you to do that. But the reason I came back was to be honest, to make some money. I cannot, nonprofit world does not pay. But falling in love with a mission really has made my life. I right now work, I think I work harder than any time in my life, but I am having a lot of fun. Kind of like our speaker earlier, I think in the morning, I think to wake up in the morning looking forward to going to work and knowing that you're going to contribute something meaningful. 2 days ago, we had a sight impaired tour. I mean, Hong Kong, we have a lot of galleries, we have museums. Nobody catered to the sight impaired. There are people who would enjoy that art. And for me, I did not know they were there by the time I walked in the gallery, and they were led by people. And when you see them listening to the audio guide and their eyes lit up, hearing about the love bed, the bed that's made of razors. They did not touch them, I can guarantee you. But they were as inspired as any of us. So that's why I think it's something that 1 + 1 = 3. I have found really, for myself, the perfect job. And the reason 1 + 1 = 3, the way I've started interpreting it is, and I think I learned this from the Committee of 100. You have, and this is my own formula. You know, we often work in an organization. We have show horses, the brands, people. You know, I would call Apple a 1. You know, 1 + 1 = 1. And then there are those people we work with that are the accountants, the lawyers. They're very practical. 1 + 1 = 2. And then there are the dreamers, like some of us. And organizations can also be a 3. And that's why I right now am really excited that I work for an organization or trying to build an organization that's a 3. And I really would encourage you, each one of you is a 1 or 3 or whatever. And volunteer, be involved. Use your technology. I'm not as dogmatic about Chandra. I think technology can help transform institutions and organizations. We have, in fact, I think John, there's a reason John invited me today to speak, because he felt Asia Society, Hong Kong, and TEDx, our missions are quite similar. The only difference is we're kind of the analog version of TEDx. But we bring ideas. We bring people like Chandra. We bring John. We bring other people to share ideas to make the world better. Maybe I'm a Pollyanna or optimist. I'm definitely a lot more positive than Chandra is, but we are all in the same boat. And I would just encourage all of you to really kind of look beyond your own world and volunteer and make a difference in the 1 + 1 = 3, because I think we need more 3s. And going back to Nelson Mandela, seeing that photo, he was 1 and 2 and a 3. He was 1 because he is a global icon, no doubt about it. He was 2 because he was a pragmatic politician, got things done. He was also a 3. He was a transformative global leader. I now aspire to be Nelson Mandela. Not all of us can, none of us will. And a part of my aspiration, this is one of you guys probably have not had an honor with Mandela's death. I met Mother Teresa in 1989, my first trip to India. And before that, I was a young yuppie. There were certain things I need to have. technology, gadgets, things. I mean, things were important to me because I'm a child of immigrants. My parents came from Taiwan. I immigrated to the state when I was 10. I had to, I had tiger moms, tiger parents. So success meant making money. But meeting Mother Teresa in 1989, I have to say, the woman came from a family that was quite well off, decided that she was going to go to India and save the world in her whatever, whether you agree with her politically or not, but she did something that, not that I'm going to be Mother Teresa, I will not have that, to be honest about it, but I look up to people like that, and I now have made a commitment to be in the nonprofit world. And one of the things I also want to say, and the other message I want to get to you, across to you is, don't wait till you retire when you have time to get involved. Get involved now. You don't want to wait till you're 60 or 70 to climb Mount Everest. And I would say the same about being in the NGO world. Get involved now. You don't have to work there. You can volunteer, and that's something that you all can do, that we all can do. And really, that's a message I want to get across to all of you. Everything I've said right now, it's been off the cuff. It's not been written, but it's things that I've been thinking about and building on what Chandra said. And thank you for that inspirational words that Chandra has said to us. And again, challenge you all to become a 3. So thank you. That's it.